Should the wife be the one who primarily cares for the baby in the night during the newborn stage?
Today, we'll be sharing a story that we think most parents can relate to and hopefully shed a light to those who hope to be parents.
One morning, after looking after our second child during the night, I woke up and I told Shari, I'm so tired.
And I thought to myself, no, you're not. You've had plenty of sleep. You are not allowed to say that you're tired.
This was the beginning of our conflict.
Let's go back a little to give you a bit of context. Back in 2021, when we've had our first child, we were new parents. We did not know anything about the parenting world. Thankfully, we had both my mom and Isaiah's mom there ready to help, and there was such a blessing. Thank you, moms. We love you. Mwah. We planned to breastfeed, so naturally I had more time with the baby, and we actually didn't give the baby any bottle.
But that's because you were struggling to express, and so it was difficult to even have any milk in the bottle at all.
Yes, and that was a really challenging time. When it came to nighttime, I would feed the baby in the night whenever she woke up. This meant that I would wake up every time in the night. And Isaiah could wake up, but there's nothing he would do because the baby would be feeding from me. And so the first pregnancy, Isaiah didn't do the night shift, the dreaded night shift. Now fast forward to our second baby, I had now expressed to Isaiah that I really want him to be able to be more involved with the newborn stage.
And as Shari had told me that she wanted me to be more involved, I wanted to go into this second pregnancy saying like, yeah, you can rely on me. I can help you out during the night. I will wake up with this child and I will feed them. And so we decided that we would both breastfeed and bottle feed. Now bear in mind, for all the years of my first child, I had no practice looking after a child in the night. So I'm definitely coming into this green.
For me, I had rigorous training. I had a whole 2 pregnancies at this point. I had the newborn stage that trained me to say goodbye to sleep and to be uncomfortable and to be okay with it. And so when our second was now here and Isaiah was saying, I will wake up in the night. I will feed the baby. You don't worry, honey, you sleep. I'll wake up. I was excited, but I wanted to see how this was gonna go down. And this is what happened.
For our second baby, I only managed to wake up for 2 nights. Yeah. The first night, it was time to go to sleep. I put the baby down, he went to sleep all nice and well. And then he woke up for the first time and I got up enthusiastically. I was ready to look after this boy. And I go prepare the bottle and the bottle's nice and warm, the milk looks amazing. I pick up the boy, I put him in my arm and I put the bottle to his mouth and then he starts drinking and all is well. And then I put him down again and he sleeps again.
Hey, you burped him.
Oh, yes, I burped him. I did forget sometimes, but let's just say I burped him.
Say you burped him every time, otherwise you're in trouble.
Yes, you will be in trouble if you do not burp your child. You should always burp your child. Okay, so I burped him and gently rocked him in my arms and then I put him back down to sleep. And then I went back to sleep. Now, he woke up again. And then I looked after him again, did the same usual procedure. Of course, burped him. And then he went back to sleep and I went back to sleep. And then he wakes up again. But I continue to snore and snore and snore.
And so being a loving wife, I say, honey, the baby's awake. Bear in mind, this is supposed to be so I sleep. Because he always said, honey, I got the baby. You sleep. I've got the baby. So I said, honey, the baby is crying again.
And so I go and look after the baby. At this point, I'm feeling so tired and so drained. Well, I do it again because I need to look after my baby. And so we put him down and then he sleeps and then I go back to sleep. And then the morning comes And that day, I just sleep the whole day. I'm knocked out. That night just knocked me out completely.
Bear in mind, the newborn does not sleep all day. He's still waking up his good hour, 2 hour, 20 minutes later. He's still waking up, needing to be fed, needing to be changed, needing to be cuddled.
Hey, but I looked after him during the night, so surely it should be okay now. You can look after him during the day.
And in those nights, whenever he woke up, I was awake too. So I've also not slept continuously through the night. Plus, I also had to wake up and wake him to get the baby.
And so the second night comes, and again, I'm enthusiastic. But this night doesn't go as well as the previous night. Most of the time when he woke up, I was too sluggish. And Shari had to wake me up almost every time.
And at this point, it's a safety issue. The way this man is walking, I'm like, I don't think you should be holding this baby. Because you can just fall down. You're so full of sleep. Maybe I should just, maybe I should just take over and just take care of the baby.
And then she tells me, honey, you just sleep. I'll look after the baby for the rest of the night. I was like, okay, honey. But at that point, I'd already woken up 3 times with the baby. So when the morning comes, I go to Shari and I say, honey, I'm so tired. And that's the beginning of the conflict. From my point of view, at no point have I had to carry a baby. Have I had to breastfeed a baby? Have I had to change my body for a baby? Have I had to do anything for the baby? Really, for me, doing anything for the baby was a choice. It wasn't put on me. I wasn't forced to look after the baby. I chose to. And so because of that, I did not have a lot of practice. And also, I was not used to caring for my baby in that way.
From my point of view, I've had a long time with the baby growing inside, giving birth, and now the baby's out. So there is a certain deep attachment. You know how they say with mothers, your baby cries, it hurts you inside. You have to do something about it. You know the different cries, you know what's happening. And with my first pregnancy, my first baby, I remember looking across and trying to sleep, but I was too worried if the baby's okay. Is she breathing? Is she fine? I'm just staring at her as she's sleeping peacefully. And the second baby is a similar thing. And so I'm connected to, is the baby doing okay? And so even if I'm trying to sleep, the sleep is not going to be deep because my senses are just thinking, is the baby okay? I need to get up. I can't. It's not a choice whether I can sleep. I have to be ready for the baby at all times.
And it didn't help that this baby was addicted to the milk. My goodness. He did not and she did not want to leave my wife's breast alone.
The babies, yes.
And that did not help because at the end of the day, they were stuck to Shari. Like when it was nighttime, feeding, they were stuck to Shari. And we co-slept. I know all of them say don't co-sleep, but co-sleep is easier.
It's easier.
It's much easier. So, yes. And if you co-sleep, the baby's just stuck on the boob.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it was convenient for us. And it ended up being natural and the way that we looked after both of our children.
On the topic of co-sleeping, there is a certain time when it becomes easier because obviously at the beginning, both mom and baby, you're figuring out what life is. So for a lot of the nights when I had our first daughter first and then Zuri, at the beginning, I had to keep getting up to sit to feed the baby. So I wasn't just lying down and having a good sleep. I still had to get up every time. And so my sleep was very broken because I was naturally not just sleeping at all. And later on, you actually learn how to sleep right next to the baby and feed the baby and then burp the baby and everything. But at the beginning, it's still just like you're sleeping with the baby in the cot. So you need to pick up the baby, sit up, feed the baby, burp the baby, put the baby down, try to put them to sleep. They wake up again and you do it all over again. So it's really difficult even when you're co-sleeping at the beginning.
So going back to the question we asked in the beginning, should the wife be the one who primarily looks after a young baby in the night?
We actually have a bit of a complicated answer to that. We believe that at the beginning, the first 2 weeks when the father is on paternity leave as well, the wife, the mom, should also express and use the bottle so she's able to to share that load. I know it's challenging because for the father, you've not been through the pregnancy, your body has not changed and is not subject to lack of sleep and being uncomfortable, and it can be really difficult to keep waking up all the time. But for the mother, you also need to rest, and the only way you recover your body is if you get some good sleep. And it's still challenging because hormones are still high, and it's a new time and it's a crazy time. But to be able to just have that support and to have that schedule of, okay, I'll wake up twice, I'll wake up 3 times, you wake up this time, I got it last time. To be able to share that load, I think it goes a really long way to help with the healing.
Ephesians 5:25 says to us, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Helping out in this way during your paternity leave, husbands, can be a way in which we can show a love to our wives that the Bible calls us to. It is hard to look after a baby, and it's even harder when you've not had practice. But it's a calling that we can help to show that we love our wife in this way.
Trust me, if you've never experienced sacrificial love, that is what sacrificial love looks like. A newborn will test you to your limits, but you carry that love for that child and that blessing that God has given you, and you persevere through it, and you get up every time and you find joy in the Lord and encourage your partner.
If this video has been helpful to you, please share. It helps the algorithm and it helps us help more people.
We'd love to hear your stories in the comments of any being first-time parents and what craziness went on. So please reach out, comment. We'd love to hear from you.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.